I'm Lane, and I'm Salagi, or Cherokee. What a lot of people don't know is that the Cherokee Nation is broken up into 3 bands. I'm a member of the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, and so I'm also Blue Clan, or Ani Sohoi, which is a clan that I'm a part of. And I'm just going to share with you guys some traditional legends and stories that my mom would tell me, and hopefully it makes you guys happy. My first story is going to be how the Milky Way came to be. So, a long time ago in Cherokee country, back when the sky at night was completely clear except for a few stars, there lived an old man and an old woman, and they made their living by selling meal. They would grind the meal and they would sell it to the villagers or trade it for skin and meat. Well, one year, late in the fall, they realized that at night someone had been stealing their meal. And this alarmed them because they knew that no one in the village would come and take their meal. So they began to look around their house and look around their meal grinding places, and they found something that startled them very much. They found a huge dog track, and they were scared. They'd never seen anything like that before. They'd never seen or even thought of a dog being that big. So they discussed what they could do. They talked all day, and they didn't find a conclusion. And when night fell and the morning came, once again, all their meal was gone. So they decided that they would put together a family meeting and a council of all the villagers. So they gathered that day, and one after another, each villager stood up and shared what they thought they should do about the dog. And the old man, one after another, shot them down and shook his head because he didn't want to hurt the dog. He didn't want to kill the dog. He knew that this dog had to be otherworldly, a spiritual dog, and he was terrified of what might happen if he hurt or killed it. And so finally, the eldest member of the village stood up, and he shared what he thought they should do. He said that he thought all of them should go to the old couple's house and wait until night to come. And they would bring all their noisemakers, their drums and their rattles, and then they would wait for the dog to come. And when the dog came, they would pound their drums, shake their rattlers, and hopefully the noise would scare the dog so much he would never come back. The old man smiled and shook his head because he knew that's exactly what they were going to do. So later that evening, when Sister Moon made her way halfway through the sky vault, they all hid in the meal grinding places, and they waited. And then, to their not surprise, a large dog came from the west, and they were astounded. It was beautiful. Its coat shone silver in the moonlight, and they were amazed, but they were terrified. The dog approached, it gulped down all the meal, and the old man was scared. And then he got the courage, and he stood up and he shouted, and that let all the villagers know that it was time to make noise. And they beat their drums, and they shook their rattles, and they screamed their songs, and it was so loud, it was like thunder rolling over the mountains. And the dog was startled, he was terrified. He started running in circles, and he didn't know what to do, and to their surprise, this dog jumped into the sky. And in the sky, he left a long trail of the meal that had poured out of his mouth. And when you look into the sky today, you can still see this trail of cornmeal, still there. And a lot of you people call it the Milky Way, and my people, we call it the trail and where the dog ran. And that's how the Milky Way came to be. I have one more story for you guys. This one's pretty silly. It is about why the buzzard is bald. So, the buzzard back way in the day had a beautiful top knot and a head full of feathers, and he was so proud of his feathers. He would walk and he would strut around all the animals, eating on the dead bodies, and he would strut in circles and he said, "You can eat all of it because it's not good enough for me." Now, the animals in the village were getting pretty annoyed with Mr. Buzzard. They thought that, oh, he thinks he's too good for all this. Well, let's show him how much he isn't. So the birds got together with the buffalo, and they devised a plan. And this plan would strip the buzzard of his top knot and all of his feathers. And one day they carried out this plan exactly. And you guys can imagine what happened. The buzzard lost his top knot, and not only his top knot, but all the skin on his head was ripped off. And now he is not too proud to eat from the dead bodies. Thank you guys so much.